Hey guys, M13 here. It's been about just a little over 6 weeks. I'm doing an update on me. There's Jason.
Hello.
That's my temporary caregiver slash friend. So I asked on my Facebook. I made a post on my Facebook, and I asked people, "What does it mean when the doctor said to me 6 to 9 months before I walk? Does that mean in 6 months from now I'll be like shuffling along like a 90-year-old man, or does it mean 6 months from now I'll be totally normal?" And then and then a lot of people say the doctor's estimate is really conservative. The doctor's estimate is for like a fat guy. So if you're not a fat guy, you can do it a lot quicker than 6 to 9 months. So let's be overly optimistic and say that 6 to 9 months in doctor's terms actually means 3 months. So in 3 months from my accident, I should be walking. I'm at 6 weeks, so that's the halfway mark. So in 6 more weeks, I should be walking. And again, does that mean shuffling or walking or walking naturally? So yeah, I don't really know what it means. This leg is broken in 3 places: the femur, the hip. It's the femur in the hip. So the femur is broken in 2 places. One is like here, and then one is at the hip. So I think like the top of the femur, you got that, the bulbous part. It kind of that snapped off in the hip, and then in the middle, and then my knee is broken, which is the biggest problem I have. Breaking your leg, not the big a deal, because this leg is broken. This leg's broken here, but I can move it. The problem with breaking your leg is not the fact that the leg is broken. The problem with breaking your leg is that once the leg is broken, your physical strength in that leg is reset to 0. Like you have the strength of an infant. You cannot support your own weight. Yeah. And then I've atrophied. Like that's pretty much the thickness of my leg at the front here, and I've got some calf down here, but the calf feels like jello. So my leg is already less than half it was 6 weeks ago. It's amazing. I don't want to show you this, but you can even tell with my clothes on. The 2 forearms. This forearm is more than twice the size as this forearm. And there's nothing wrong with my arm. Just the fact that my hand is bandaged and I haven't been able to use this hand, this arm's always kind of resting. So even though nothing actually injured my arm, this arm is still atrophied to less than half the size as my right arm. And my right arm's atrophied as well, because normally I do push-ups and sit-ups and chin-ups on a daily basis, and I've been in bed for 6 weeks. So my whole body's, yeah, I've shrunk. Is the moral of that story. I'm good. You always want to help. I can't bend the knee, so the leg is... And I already made this video once, but the camera was pointed way too far forward, so you couldn't actually see what I was doing. So I'm trying to tilt it down more. So I'm staring just straight down at the floor. Hopefully there's nothing in front of me, like a rabid dog or something, or I just like walk into it without noticing. So my right leg, I can actually bend my knee a little. Can you tell? Hold on a sec. Let me hold the camera straight. See? I can bend it a little. That's the maximum amount I can bend it. I'm working on that. That's the most painful thing we do sometimes. I get Jason I just lie flat on the bed, and I get Jason to stick his hand under my knee and just lift it until it bends to the point where I'm like, it hurts a lot, and then I make him hold it there. I also try just bending it a little and then shifting my weight to that leg when I'm standing. So many times when I'm doing this stuff, this hand gets crushed against the wall. And I don't like my left hand. I'm not happy with it. I was expecting it today for the first time in detail when I was changing the bandages, and I'm not happy with it. It's something that I'll be ashamed of, ashamed / embarrassed of for the rest of my life. Like, it's ugly, you know. I thought it would just be 2 nubs and whatever, but it's much uglier than that. Yeah. Ooh, okay, close enough. A little dangerous. The last time I was making this video, I literally almost fell. And Jason had to like reach out and grab me. I'm not sure why that was. Oh, it was because I was turning around to point at something behind me, which was put my balance off. Yeah. This is the point where I almost fell. So the toilet, I added on this, which is, this whole unit sits on top of a regular toilet and raises the height higher so you don't have to bend down as far. And it adds on these arms, which allows me to actually sit down. And at first I could only sit down on the edge of it. You can't sit further back because my leg doesn't bend. So you can't sit in a chair with a knee that doesn't bend because your leg sticks straight out. And I don't have the strength to sit on a chair with it straight out. So it would fall, the foot would fall, and then it would force it to bend, which would cause me great pain. But we figured out if you put this footstool here, ow, oh god, that hurt. I put my hand down the wrong way. Yeah, so what I do is I can demonstrate it. I got time. So I sit down on the edge of the toilet, and I couldn't actually use the toilet now because I'm just sitting on the edge. And then I have to take my hand and there we go, lift it up, put it on there, and then now I can shuffle backwards on the toilet. And it's a little difficult because I actually have the brace on my leg which catches on the toilet, so I have to get the brace over it, and then the brace is on the toilet lid and it digs into me. But it's that's not that's an acceptable amount of pain for the comfort of being able to use a toilet. And I can even wash my hands and shit because I have a sink there, which is also nice. So yeah, so that's broken femur, broken hip femur, broken knee, broken femur. 6 weeks. And thanks again for all your support. Because it's support like this. This was a donation. This I got lucky with. I bought it for completely separate purpose. I bought this to put on the floor to use as a toilet next to the bed, because that was the initial purpose of it. And then somebody said you can't put your bed on the floor because you won't be able to stand up ever. And I was like, oh. So then we thought, oh, this is kind of useless. And I thought, no, maybe in the future I can use it. And everything just kind of worked out. Everything worked out so that I could do this in 6 weeks. Like normally, without this as a donation and without me accidentally buying this, everything's really the best it could possibly be for the circumstances. Actually, it's better than that because I've made a couple of new friends online. One in particular in Australia, and it's helped brighten my life in a different sort of way. So yeah, so I'm really focusing on the positives from this. I really don't like this hand though. I was looking at it today. Yeah. What you can do?